Hello, and thanks for coming back to the only BBC you're ever going to need. It's the Blackwood Book Club. Right, episode 16 is part 2 from my fourth self-published book entitled The Spirit of Cricket. And on page 23 you will find a chapter entitled Australia on course to be World Test Champs at the Oval. Thursday the 8th of June 2023, Australia 469 all out, India 151 for 5, trailing by 318 runs. This Ashes diary entry is brought to you from the very beating heart of central England during yet another sporadic burst of glorious summer sun, and as such it comes wrapped in my travels for the day and a visit to the ruins of a centuries-old Abbey at Lilleshall and a picturesque stroll along the Shropshire Union Canal. Without a cloud in the sky to spoil the view of some 12th and 13th century ruins of an Abbey church and cloister and two picture-perfect stretches of the canal, I had to forego the live action from London and instead make some further sunshine-filled memories with my beautiful son, who, let's just say, doesn't quite share my enthusiasm for all things ruinous and historical and finds my fascination with the centuries-old canal systems quite baffling. But look, the sun was shining and the cricket could have my undivided attention via an hour-long highlights package later in the evening. What transpired as I traversed the 12th and 13th century rocky remains of a church and via that highlights package later in the evening was 12 wickets falling throughout the day, an arguable mini batting collapse and one team leaving the door slightly ajar for their outplayed opponents. Cricketing lives followed, as did cricketing snorters, drop catches and perhaps most importantly of all, of one team, Australia, seemingly holding all the cards for victory and a coronation in 3 days' time as World Test Champions. Starting the day on a commanding 327 for 3, the would-be world champions from Australia saw their overnight batting heroes in Travis Head and Steve Smith both pass their individual innings milestones before Head was, in the cricketing vernacular, strangled by a tangled pull shot down the leg side, and Smith was comprehensively bowled by Shardul Thacker. At 387 for 6, Head passed 150 to finish on 163, and Smith scored yet another century at the Oval before he perished on 121. But with Cameron Green dismissed for just 6 in between the fall of these wickets, Australia rather collapsed to a total of 469 all out, and a total I'd argue was 75 runs short of sealing almost certain victory already. Aside from wicketkeeper Alex Carey's typically attacking knock of 48 from just 69 balls received, every other Aussie batsman in the tail of their innings failed to climb into double figures. 469 is still a highly dominating first innings total, but 550 plus and the engravers could begin to etch Australia onto the winner's plate of the trophy. Roared on by an oval crowd largely bathed in the orange, white and green colours of India, their team rather flattered to deceive before ultimately ending day 2 a long way behind on any cricket scorecard. Every batsman reached double figures, 2 batsmen simply gave their wickets away without playing a shot, India reached 30 for no wickets serenely and without a hitch, before then collapsing to 50 for 3 and 71 for 4. The final session saw a brilliant fight back before Ravindra Jadeja nicked off just 2 runs short of a swashbuckling run-a-ball half-century, and his wicket, India's 5th, leaves them trailing by a whopping 318 runs with just 5 first innings wickets standing overnight. Prior to this conclusion we saw the captain's duel between Rohit Sharma and Pat Cummins culminate comprehensively in the Aussie skipper's favour as he trapped his Indian counterpart LBW, and so comprehensively and so brilliantly well bowled, Sharma didn't even trouble the DRS or TV umpire. Next up came not one but 2 consecutive uses of the beautiful cricketing term of shouldering arms, or to not play a shot as you're comfortable the ball will easily miss your precious castle of stumps behind you. Not so in the case of Shubman Gill, as he shouldered arms to a delivery from Scott Boland that cut back from the wicket before crashing into his off stump, and just 20 team runs later, Pujara performed the exact same non-stroke to the bowling of Cameron Green, who punched the air in delight at his great sporting fortune. Throwing the dismissal of the crowd's darling Virat Kohli, with the score on just 71 for 4, and India were rocking and seemingly ripe for a batting collapse. India's day, and arguably the entire test match at this early juncture, was rescued in the evening session of play by the dogged determination of a Jinka Rahane and a runnable extravaganza from Ravinja to Jadeja. Their partnership of 71 was curtailed just before end of play stumps with a brilliant spinning delivery from Nathan Lyon that snagged the edge of Jadeja's bat and into the grasping hands of Steve Smith at first slip. Whilst Jadeja crashed his way to 48 invaluable runs from just 51 balls received, his partner in the final session of the day ended the day not out on 29 and perhaps crucially the recipient of a cricketing life when on 17 he was adjudged out an LBW to the bowling of Pat Cummins, only to see the Aussie skipper had overstepped and bowled a no ball. Bowling a no ball is simply unforgivable in any form of cricket, and this gift of a second chance may come back to haunt Australia and indeed their captain tomorrow. But the stark reality at the end of day 2 is that Australia hold the whip hand with a 300 plus run advantage, and if they skittle the remaining 5 Indian wickets cheaply and take a 250 plus run advantage into the second innings, I only see one winner. Moving day tomorrow, I foresee Australia holding a similar lead come end of play before setting India a 4th innings test match record target for victory. Time will tell. It always does. So that was episode 16 of the Blackfoot Book Club. A couple of stumbles, but I would hope you would forgive me. I really do appreciate you being there and for watching and for listening. There'll be links below for how you can support me, and there'll also be a link for the book itself in the comments of the video. And so I'll leave you with peace as ever and solidarity. And I do really sincerely thank you for watching.